Hello writers, my name is Tennyson E. Stead. I am a working screenwriter and a working script doctor, and welcome to The Right Stuff. One of the conventions that seems oftentimes most arbitrary to writers as they break into screenwriting is the notion that a screenplay needs to be between 90 and 120 pages. Now it's true, you can cheat down to 85 pages without any real consequences. Movies can be a little bit shorter. But you do not, as a spec writer, as somebody who's trying to sell screenplays to producers and production companies, you do not want a screenplay to be longer than 120 pages. There's all kinds of reasons why people imagine this to be the case. And they're not right. So let's fix that, okay? Movie theaters are only open for so many hours a day. No movie theater is going to be paying minimum wage ushers overtime for putting in extra work, which means they need to close the doors at a certain hour because they only have so many shifts coming in and out over the course of the day. You can only screen a 2-hour movie so many times in a day. Specifically, you need to make sure the movie theater is clean between each screening. Okay? Which means if you have a 2-hour movie, you can screen it. If you screen it, when the theater opens and you start that rotation through, you can get that movie on the screen 5 times over the course of a day. You start closing down the theater in the middle of the 5th screening, and by the time that screening's over, you've sent most of the people home. You have just enough time in the day to get 5 screenings a day out of a 2-hour movie with trailers and everything else. The second you add another minute, the second your script goes to 121 pages, you are only able to screen that movie 4 times a day. Which means you, as the writer, before even talking to a producer, before even embarking on this process, have decided that your creative vision is going to justify nuking 20% of the box office. Now, you can make an argument that it's not 20% of the box office and that who knows exactly when people are going to go to which screenings. Fine, that's all well and good. We can rationalize it until the cows come home. But on the other side of that equation, if there's only 4 screenings a day, then the latest screening is going, because you're taking a screening out of the rotation, is going to be a little bit earlier. The second to latest screening, the 3rd screening of the day, is going to be a little bit earlier than it otherwise would be. And that means that people have less time to get from work to the movie theater, which means the 3rd screening of the day isn't worth as much as if you were doing 5 screenings. Because not as many people are going to be able to get out, maybe have dinner, whatever they need to do before they go to the movies. Which means the 4th screening is the only real screening you get on a weekday, versus if you had 5 screenings, it would be the last 2 screenings. Now, if you're a big director like Chris Nolan or Steven Spielberg, or if you are part of a franchise like Star Wars or Avengers, then the studio has a plan for this. They're just gonna bully their way into as many screens as possible. So it's okay if each individual screen only gets 4 screenings, because they're going to be taking over 2 or 3 or 4 screenings on opening weekend in any given multiplex. So there's no need for them to adhere to the same rules that we're talking about. But the movie that you're writing right now at this stage in your career is not an Avengers movie. You are the movie that becomes the impulse purchase for somebody who walks into the theater and finds out that Avengers is oversold and that they can't get a ticket. That's when they start looking at the romantic comedies, the action films, or whatever is out, the horror movies, the mysteries, whatever, and they decide, I'll go see this movie with, Nicolas Cage in it instead. That's your movie. You need 5 screenings a day. The point that I'm trying to make here is the 120-page limit is a real thing. It's not made up. It's not random. It actually matters to producers. And you don't want a producer to pull your script, out of an email file or out of a printer or out of the mail, and at first glance, their very first impression of you as a writer, just flipping through and seeing how many pages there are, their first impression is that you have made the decision that your creative vision is so powerful that any financial concerns anyone might have about the success of the film are irrelevant. That's what 121 pages says. Don't do that to yourself. Don't make that your first impression. Find a way to cut it down. If you look at the other stuff that we've done on this channel, if you look at the other videos that we have, you're probably going to see that there are some structural opportunities to make your film a lot more efficient. It might seem impossible now to load those pages. It's not. You absolutely can do it. And I can't recommend it strongly enough. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Tennyson E. Stead. This has been The Right Stuff. If you like what we have to say here, please like and subscribe. These one-shot videos are going to keep coming, so if you like what you're getting, stay tuned, and I look forward to learning with you.